Rising Tide Comedy Open Mic.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Pinske's Rising Tide. It's almost like summertime. It's kind of warm out. Eli's been warming us up here. Thank you, Eli.
You're welcome.
So I think that we should probably get the open mic going unless we just want to do a quick verse of our Dairy Joy song.
Up to you if you want to.
All right, we're going to do, this is a song that Eli and I are working on. We're a duet. We're called the Free Tattoos because we're as bad as a free tattoo. Eli likes going to the Dairy Joy because there's girls with yoga pants making ice cream cones.
I think that's how you feel about going down there.
I do like going to the Dairy Joy, Eli.
So do I.
I do like yoga pants, Eli.
I can see.
I like yoga pants. I like chocolate vanilla twists. All right. Okay, that's why we're called the Free Tattoos.
Can't expect much.
We kind of suck. No. All right, thank you, Eli. That's great. So Eli warmed everybody up here tonight. It's good to have you. He's my guitar playing buddy. Lives down the street. One of the few Jewish people in Chester.
Just getting outed.
We got to get this shit out of the way, Eli. Well, yes, we're having a comedy open mic. Kevin is here. Michael's here. Holly is here. Oh my God! So I tried to do something with emojis today to a girl. I wrote, "Hi Eli."
Hello.
You're right my way.
I'm trying to.
It's all right.
For you.
I sent I sent 3 emojis: an eyeball for eye, a heart for love, and an image of a sheep for you. And the girl wrote back and she said, "This is why I don't like you Vermont guys, you like sheep." And like that wasn't my point. What the hell? Yeah, like stereotyped. So everybody, you are in Chester, Vermont. Chester, Vermont is the coolest town within 1 mile of Chester, Vermont. We have new owners for the diner in town here. They wanted to have a contest to come up with a new name for the diner. I suggested they call it the Loose Stool Diner. They hated that idea. Anyway, yeah, they put signs around town. Chester, Vermont, live, work, play. Chester, Vermont, eat, shop, stay. And then I went to the town hall. I said, these signs don't reflect my experience here. The sign by my house should say, live, work, and play with yourself. There you go. All right, so I have friends that travel a long way and decided to come out and do some comedy for us. And we're going to give them an opportunity to do much more time than they normally get at a regular open mic. So we're going to start out with Kevin McTaggart. Kevin, do you live in West Leb or White River, or where do you live? Hanover? Norwich. Norwich is the coolest of all. Welcome to the stage from Norwich, Vermont, Kevin McTaggart, everybody! There's Kevin. All right, yeah, here we go. So much fun.
Thank you.
Eli had this cranked up.
Thank you, Barry. Give it up to Barry, everybody. Or not. I do live in Norwich. I find that when I tell people, depending on where I am, like around here, I think if I tell you I live in Norwich, you don't think I live at the military academy. Okay, because I don't. There's Norwich University. And then there's Norwich, Vermont. There are 2 different places. Norwich University is in Northfield, Vermont. And I feel like if I go like north to like Montpelier or Burlington, and I tell people that I live in Norwich, they think I live at the military academy, but I don't. It's fucking frustrating. It's frustrating. And actually, there's actually in Norwich there is a plaque in town at the school where the military academy used to be. And the military academy was there back in 1866. So I can understand for Vermont, it's a long time. It's not a. It's a short time for people to finally accept that it takes them longer to realize that Norwich University is not the home of Norwich, Vermont anymore. It's interesting. I also think that the people who moved Norwich University to Northfield did it just to piss me off. I feel like they did. Like, we'll move it to Northfield University. Should we change it to Northfield University? No, because there'll be a comic who lives in Norwich hundreds of years from now who's going to tell people that he lives in Norwich, and they think he'll live at the military academy, and he doesn't. So yeah, it's great. Don't live at the military academy, please. Don't stop confusing that for me. That's great. Let's see what else. I'm a Taurus, which means I hold grudges. So let's fucking go. I went to the movies today. Like I went to the movies to see Masters of the Universe, and I saw the first Masters of the Universe movie with Dolph Lundgren. Clap if you remember that movie. No one does. You shouldn't. It's horrible. But like it was like back in '88 or '87 it came out, And I went with my dad. I was living in Goffstown at the time, and so we arrived late at the Masters of the Universe movie back in 1987. Apparently we missed no plot. It was that awful. Yeah. And then I decided to go see the Masters of the Universe again today in southern Vermont. Again, because I live up in Norwich, and I went to go see it in Hooksett, because the movie theater that I saw it in Manchester 40-something years ago no longer exists. I don't think they have a movie theater in Manchester, New Hampshire anymore. I think there's like a Chunky's or a Chucky's, or they serve alcohol there at the movie theater, which is a great idea, by the way. They need more booze at movie theaters. Love that. But no, I went to go see it down in Hooksett, and I hate how movie theaters have modernized now. I don't like it. I hate when I go in there, I have to pick my seat before I buy my ticket. Like I remember the first time I had to pick my seat. I go to the movie theater to just give them my money, thinking, I'll just pick my seat when I get in there. And they're like, where would you like to sit? And I go, in the theater. I'd like to sit in the theater, please. No, I have to pick my seat beforehand, and it's so fucking frustrating. Of course, nobody bought me tickets yet today, so I had a good seat. I had an entire row to myself. That was good. But there have been other times when I haven't gone to the movies in this modern age, when I've driven to the movies and tried to pick my seat, and I'm like, any seat I would pick, I'd have to sit next to someone. I'm not doing that. No, I wasted gas money to go to the movie theater. I should just modernize myself a little bit more and look at it on the app. I guess if I looked at it on the app, I would know before I even left the bed. I would know if there were tickets available and if anybody was sitting next to me. I mean, on either side. I don't want that shit. to happen. No, don't. No. Like, I remember years ago when you didn't have to pick your seat. And I got there early. It was great. And then, like, this couple came in. And I'm the only one there in, like, the middle of the stadium seating. And these fuckers sit right next to me. So I moved. Oh, my God. Just hate the monetization. Like the hooks it. You have to get, you get your own popcorn. They have a popcorn dispenser. No, I don't want a fucking popcorn. I need a human to give me the popcorn. I need a human to give me my popcorn and my soda. All right? Is that too much to fucking ask? We'd have a lot more people employed if people were there that would give me my fucking popcorn and soda by hand. Okay? Why have people working at the movie theater at all? Actually, think about it, because like I could go to as many movies as I want because there's nobody working there. They have like 2 people working the concessions. I see no security. You can go to the Hooksett movie theater and see all of the movies in one night. Probably not, because they're all like 2 hours. But logistically speaking, it's not possible. But you can skip. Oh, this movie sucks. I'm going to go to the other one. They're not going to know. How are they going to fucking know? They don't even check your tickets. They have like a receipt. I have a receipt of my food and my movie tickets. And I'm like, it's fucking stupid. I'm all for like progress and modernization, but like, what the fuck? Let's see, what else pissing me off today? I don't know. I have scoliosis. It's not contagious. I wish that it was. I wish I could just give my crooked spine to somebody else. God, like, man. Like, if I had my spinal fusion, like, when I was 2, and if I didn't have my spinal fusion, I could have been, like, the next Larry Bird. Probably. Because my dad is, like, 6'2". I'm 5'10". That's what the spinal fusion did. I'm fucking short because of how bad my goddamn scoliosis is. It fucking sucks. And how they did this spinal fusion back in 1978 was fucked up. They take a piece of your hip and stick it into your spine, and that somehow is supposed to straighten it out. It's still crooked, fuckers. Still fucking crooked. I kind of found out how they do it now. I was talking about it in a comedy show, and up in Hanover, and I don't know if you know this, but there's a hospital up there. It's more like a shopping mall, but it's a hospital. It's more like an airport, but it's a hospital. And like I'm going on about it, and like there are 3 guys in the front row who are like looking at me with like a knowingly look, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna shoot my shot and ask them if they're spinal surgeons. And they were. They were spinal surgeons. So I was like, well, is that how they do it now? And they said no. And then I cried on stage for 15 minutes. Tears of joy, because I was getting my malpractice lawsuit. Probably. Maybe not. No, I'm not. There's no doubt. But then, my last question was, how do they do it now? And all they said was, robots. So apparently, nowadays, if your scoliosis is really bad, you get to become a cyborg. You get to be a cyborg if you have really bad scoliosis. You'll never be able to fly on a plane or anything, probably, because of all the metal in your spine. But like, you'll be a cyborg. You have like powers. You could probably join the Justice League or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, it's let's see what else. I've had a rough couple of years at work, and it sucks. Like, I have a coworker who spells follow wrong. She spells follow wrong. She spells it F-A-L-L-O-W. She sends emails to directors of departments wanting to follow up on things. And it's F-A-L-L-O-W. And I'm like, I can't tell her. I don't feel like I can tell her. I feel like if I tell her, it'll cause a nervous breakdown with her and she'll fucking quit. But now she quit a couple months ago, so. Not because of the follow thing, because she found another job. But like, it's just stupid shit. How do you spell follow with an A? How? What? Who? How is that a thing? That's the kind of stress I've been dealing with at work. And, you know, she was toxic. I had another coworker who constantly hated working there, and both of them really hated working there. And I wanted to find a new job, and both of them have left now. And now I like working there again. It's weird. It wasn't a new job that I needed. It was new coworkers that I needed. It was great. I love having I have new coworkers now, and they're fantastic. They're fantastic. There's one problem, because there's always a problem, but I'm 50 now, and one of them is 26, and the other is 24. If you suck at math, they're 50 combined. If you suck at, wasn't sure. I know I'm in Chester, so it's like math. Probably, nobody knows. Okay, that's fine. Okay, good. Let's see. I was texting my friend Linda a while back, and she asked me what I did the night before, and I let her know that I watched the Gilmore Girls reunion on Netflix. And she goes, "Gilmore Girls, what are you, gay?" And that was the funniest way I ever came out of the closet to somebody. I replied, "Actually, yeah." And she replied, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to offend you." And I should point out, it was funny to me. It wasn't really that funny to my homophobic lesbian friend Linda. Which I didn't even know was a thing. I know that we have gay Republicans, and even now with the supersized Oompa Loompa in charge, we still have gay Republicans. But I didn't know that we had homophobic lesbians. That's a fun thing. I didn't know that was a thing. I don't really like coming out of the closet to people because I'm not good at it. I don't like it. And plus, I don't care. I don't care who you're fucking. Why should you care who I'm not fucking? I mean, honestly. I'm picky, is what I'm saying. I'm picky. I'm also not into anal and stuff like that. And I had somebody tell me, "Kevin, you sound just like a woman." Thank you. That's a transgender conversation for later that I'm workshopping. Anyway, I'm not really good at coming out to people because I don't really know what I am at the moment. And also, I'm not good at coming out to people. Like one time, I let someone know. I came out to someone by saying, "I just want to let you know I'm not straight." And they're like, "Yeah, I know, Kevin. You have scoliosis." That's right, yeah, just coming out to let you know I had scoliosis. That's why. So thank you very much. Woo, woo, woo.
Step in here.
What?
Yeah, step in there this way.
Why?
I want to introduce you to the crowd this way. There you go. Step in there a little bit further.
You're gonna close the thing?
Yeah. Just hang.
All right.
Hang on one second. And now, everybody, officially coming out of the closet, Kevin McTaggart!
That's good. Okay. All right.
Good job, Kevin. Thanks for making the trip, man. Appreciate that. That was awesome. Good job. All right, I'm trying to. There's a little bit of a hum here for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, so Michael, would you please come to the stage?
Okay.
I want to have some interaction with Michael here. I've been planning on this. Michael, would you please tell everybody your complete name?
Michael.
Test. What happened? There we go.
Testing.
We're on. Go ahead. There you go.
My name is Michael Allen Leduc.
Michael Allen Leduc. See, Michael, you've been inspiring me with your beard. I want to show you something.
This is scary.
I'm growing out my nipple hair, and I'm thinking about twisting it and putting a one of those toothpick. Where are you going?
Back into the closet.
I thought if I twisted it and like put some gel in it, and then put the toothpicks like we use for the grapes, and then I thought if I shave like a heart in the middle, I can't compete with you. Michael Allen Leduc, all the way from Springfield, Mass?
Yes.
Awesome. Here we go, everybody.
From Springfield, Mass. And you mentioned the heart, so I actually have a heart too. So
You do?
I have a giant heart.
Wow, look at you. He's got nipples fierce,
too.
this guy.
Anyway, I was not planning on that. Oh my goodness.
How much time you want? 15? 20?
I don't know.
Tell me.
Let's see what goes. Sure, we'll shoot for 20.
All right.
Goodness. I'm discombobulated now. I don't know. Let me start with giving you a trigger warning. I'm trying to button my shirt with one hand. I'm going to be playing the part this evening of an uncircumcised comedian without a condom. So do be prepared for Michael Allen Law and Uncut. Oh, come on. That's a pretty good law, right? I've been married for 22 years as of the 12th of this month, so my anniversary is Friday. We've been together for 29 years, only been legally allowed to be married for 22 years. You know why, right, Vermont? Because he's black. That's right. So, when I was younger, people would ask me if I wanted to be female because they didn't understand gay. No, that's not what gay is. Recently, even, people ask me if I want to be black. I said, no, it doesn't work that way. Actually, the only person I know that wants me to be a black female is my mother-in-law. This is true. So I have a really diverse family. So my husband's black, our father's son is Puerto Rican, I have nieces and nephews who are trans. My older brother recently came out. My older brother, no, that's not true. My older brother recently transitioned. Can you imagine that? So his new pronouns are late and deceased. Yeah. I hate that joke so much because it fucks with my grammar OCD. Those are not pronouns, those are adjectives. Damn. I don't know if Chester knows that. But anyway, my brother's name was David, and his son, he named David, but his son transitioned also, but his son transitioned to a female. So I was just talking to her yesterday. Obviously, she doesn't go by David anymore. We call her Avid because she dropped the D. I actually got canceled recently, or at least they tried. I don't know. I'm here, so I guess I'm not completely canceled. For using the F word in my act. Not the F-bomb, the F word. Yes, not fuck, it was faggot. I almost got canceled for using the fucking F word. Think about that. I have marched and fought for decades. Boston, New York, D.C., for my right to say the fucking word faggot. That's my N-word. This little faggot tried to stop me from using the F word I just said. Faggot, please. Oh my
I have been married forever, but before that, some people said I was a slut, and I don't think that's true. I can count the number of sexual partners I've had on one hand using a calculator. I have had a lot of really crazy exes. One was institutionalized in mental institution while we were dating. One stole everything I owned while we were dating. I mean, all of my exes were really attractive, but I'd say only one was really well hung while we were dating. They call that suicide, by the way.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, a little dark. I'll lighten things up a bit. My mother died. Her hair. For years and years, she dyed her hair. And I'm not sure if any of it leaked in or anything, but she had all kinds of cancers and finally died like 10 years ago. But my mother was a whore. A horribly romantic soul. Such a horribly romantic soul that she married everyone she slept with. She was like competing with Liz Taylor. Except for, of course, the guy she slept with while she was married. I mean, she didn't want to be a bigamist. I am well aware that I look like I drive an ice cream truck around the elementary school. The truth is, there is no ice cream in the truck at all. I can remember the very best blowjob I ever got. It was on the school bus. It was really scary because I almost crashed when I climbed out. And another embarrassing time in my life was when I kept getting erections in junior high, and they made me stop teaching that grade. So I'm not actually a pedophile. I just like to play one when I want to appear presidential. You know. I was an altar boy in central Massachusetts in the 1970s. If you haven't heard, some things were going on in central and eastern Massachusetts and in the Catholic Church in the 1970s. I was in 3 separate churches with countless different priests, and they all ignored me, giving me so many daddy issues. I call them sky daddy issues now. My brother Dave, I told you about before, used to call me annually on Martin Luther King Day and say, "Happy N-word Day." But he didn't say N-word. He used the N-word to say it. So. I did not like that at all. So I made a sign from my front door that said no N-words allowed. It actually didn't even work because my husband still uses the word. But not as often as my siblings do, but you know. Oh, let's move on to the R word, another favorite of everybody's. I am tired of people telling me what I can and cannot say. I am allowed to say the R word. I'm on the spectrum. That's not what I consider the R word. I worked for the Department of Developmental Services for 10 years. I worked for the Department of Mental Retardation for 10 years. I was a mental retardation worker. Okay? That's not why I can say the R word. I'll tell you why I can say the R word. It's in context. Like, 13 years ago, I bought a new house, and it has a long, narrow driveway, and I had to have it redone, and then added to redone again. Now my driveway is retard, and I'm very proud of my retard driveway. It's very special to me. And I am allowed to say retard driveway as many times as I want. And if you don't find that I'm funny, then I'm just going to assume you're homophobic and transphobic and racist. And since I have pedophile jokes, you're probably pro-pedophile too. So I did spend 10 years in a mental institution as a mental retardation worker. But before that, I lived in one of those institutions where you have to wear a helmet, where they feed you gruel, and they call that the United States Army. I was a radio teletype operator, which means I am old as fuck. I used Morse code. Literally, Morse code. Can you imagine that? I am so old, I still text and drive with paper and pen. Every day I check that section of the paper to see who's died. The old bitches buried section. I'm still not in it, but I see a lot of old bitches buried every day. I walk a lot and I see weird signs and I write them down so I can comment on them. I see one piece of property has 3 signs surrounding it. It says, keep off grass, keep off grass, keep off grass. And I'm walking by smoking my doobie thinking, what the fuck? I see you're anti-drugs, but Jesus, 3 signs just bothered me. Then I go to a parking lot and it says, please don't park on grass. I'm like, really? You're not even allowed to drive while you're smoking. Why do we need to be told you can't park while you're smoking? It doesn't make any sense to me. Slow children signs. Everybody notices them and talks about them. I don't get it. I'm not concerned with the slow children. I'm looking for those quick little fuckers that'll run out. The slow ones I see coming. They don't bother me at all. And there's so many different kinds. My favorite slow children sign is the really encouraging one. It says, go slow children. I like that. That's very nice. And then some signs are just so accurate, it's insane. On my way up here tonight, there was a sign. Well, even before I could see the sign in the distance, there was this deer just jumped across the highway. It was magnificent. And I get up there, and of course, the sign says deer crossing. I said, wow, that's just so cool. And then I come into the downtown. I was lost getting here because my GPS doesn't work in this area for some reason. Anyway, I was in the downtown area. I don't know if it was actually this town because it was the actual downtown. Anyway, I'm driving up to an intersection and I look to my right. Sure enough, there's somebody just standing there at the sign snorting Adderall. It says speed bump. He was doing a speed bump. Anybody here eat ass? No? Anybody eat pussy? Oh, what a quiet group. I don't eat ass or pussy. I won't eat either one because growing up, I was always told that you are what you eat. And I'm afraid of things like that. I still don't step on cracks because I don't want to break my mother's back and she's been dead for 10 years. I don't know. So yeah, so I won't eat ass or pussy. But, I mean, I did hear once you go bidet, eating ass is okay. But, I know I'm a dick, but I understand when you're children, your kinks develop. And I remember witnessing my mother hit my father across the head with an iron skillet, and I don't know why that didn't make me pansexual. I'm glad it didn't. I have a recurring fantasy of BDSM in a bank vault. And my safe word is cracker, which is also my husband's nickname for me. Sometimes he calls me salty. I'm doing well financially, and I owe all of my success to blackmail. Blackmail is what I call my husband. I had 4 years of ROTC before I went into the Army. 4 years. I was a marksman, an expert marksman. I was an incredible marcher. I had all the skills. You know what I didn't have before basic training is they didn't give me any basic training on sex ed. Here I am going into the military. I'm going to share a tent with a man in the middle of the woods, and I have no idea how to give a blowjob at all. So there was no internet. I didn't see any sex videos. Blowjob, I thought meant I would blow into it. I'm sorry, Private Parker. I hope I didn't give you gas. I think that's all I have tonight.
Woo, woo, woo! Good job, Michael. Thanks for coming up, man. What a guy. Very unique individual, very talented, very funny. So having Michael come up here reminds me of a quick story, and then we'll have Holly come up. I don't know if any of you saw in the news recently, a mother elephant rejected its baby. So the zookeepers have been bottle feeding this baby elephant, and another female elephant has taken the baby under his wing, so to speak. But the zoologists are thinking that when this baby elephant grows up, because of its childhood trauma, it will probably end up doing stand-up comedy. There you go. Well, everybody, Holly sent me a message early this morning and said I'd like to come do a mic tonight, and I wish that we would have known ahead of time. We did the best we could on getting people here, but we also have it recorded. I think that within our Upper Valley group, all of us comedians would agree that Holly's the funniest. Anyway, that's putting pressure on her. You're not supposed to do that to people. Holly, what town do you live in? Grantham. All right. So a few years back, she was traveling around the country doing comedy. She got on Kill Tony. She did all kinds of things. She's back in Grantham, New Hampshire, and we are lucky enough to have her here in Chester, Vermont. Give a big round of applause for Holly Johnston, everybody!
The one Michael coughed into.
You want the other one?
No, it's too late now. Oh, it's great to be here in Chester. This is my typical demographic. This is where I hang out at the VFW, so I'm right at home. I'm just kidding. I just had a baby this year.
Woo, woo, woo!
All right, thank you. I didn't know I was pregnant for a while. Do you know you could miss that? People have always told me I'm oblivious, and I didn't believe them, and now I kind of do, you know? Because in the beginning, I was like, I feel weird. I don't know what's going on. And then I was like, oh, daylight savings ended. My coworker was like, doesn't it suck that it gets dark at 4 now? And I was like, yeah, but the worst part, the cravings for butter. I mean... They're like, Holly, why are you crying? I'm like, I don't know how to reset the clock on my microwave. Yeah, the thing about pregnancy symptoms is like it could literally be anything else. And I think that's unfair. I think they should have some more distinct pregnancy symptoms. You know, like think about it. What are the pregnancy symptoms? Tired and crying? Okay, I worked in mental health for a nonprofit. Tired and crying was baseline. It was where we started. Yeah, like I didn't really have strong morning sickness, but I eventually, like occasionally I would feel kind of nauseous, but I also worked in an office, you know, there's fluorescent lights, no windows, and every other day there's a different potluck. I was like, could be that too, you know. But eventually I was getting, I was kind of nervous. I was like, maybe I am, like, what if I am pregnant, you know? So I went and bought a pregnancy test. But I bought the cheapest one. Not helpful. You ever taken a well, these are all men. You guys ever taken a bargain pregnancy test? I peed on it. I was like, see, cashier. And that's the thing, like pregnancy test. Like I took this pregnancy test and I was like, I like how there's real crickets. I like how there's real crickets in the background. It's a cool tech. Now I took this pregnancy test and I was like, you know, once I take this test, I'm just gonna know the answer. Like I'll feel so much better, right? I'll have peace of mind. And then I took the test and I looked at the results and the directions were like 2 lines means pregnant, 1 line means not. And I looked at my results and I still had no idea. Like there was like 1 line and then there was another line, but it was not a confident line. You know, it was a very timid line. It wasn't like the line was like, I don't know, are we pregnant? Like it didn't know for itself. So eventually I just Googled it. I was like, can a faint blue line indicate a false positive? Please. And somehow I ended up on Reddit. And it turns out I'm not the only one with this problem. It turns out that there are a lot of people, there's a whole thread of people that post pictures of their pregnancy test results. that are equally hard to read, and then everybody votes. I was like, I guess this is how we're figuring this out now. You know? I didn't know pregnancy was subjective. This was new to me. I didn't know if you don't want to be pregnant, just downvote it. I guess. It's that easy. Yeah, so I uploaded my test, and they're like, that's a false positive. I'm like, thanks, Soccer Baby 95. And then somebody on the Reddit thread was like, well, there's also this app, there's an app where you could scan your pregnancy test and then it'll tell you. And I was like, well, I thought that's what the test was for, but I guess this is 2026. So I downloaded the app and I scanned my test and it said, most likely not pregnant. And I was like, this is where we started. This is what I started with. So I didn't fully believe that I was, I was like, I've always been in my head my whole life. I've always convinced myself of things, I've always, anyone else have OCD?
Little bit.
Little bit, all right. Yeah, you just, I always thought I was in my head. So I was like, well, this is just that again, I was like, I'm just being paranoid. I was like, if I was pregnant, I would know for sure, it would be so obvious. So I didn't really believe I was. And then eventually I went to the doctor, and my doctor, they had me do a pregnancy test, but they didn't have the medical grade cups. They had Dixie cups. And I thought that was strange. I was like, I guess they're cutting back. I guess. And that was weird. They didn't have normally when you pee in a cup, it's that plastic medical grade cup. And they just had the cup that I brushed my teeth in when I was a kid. I thought that was strange. I was like, well, I guess they're cutting back. I guess this is women's medicine, so it's likely that the budget got slashed. So I peed in the cup, and then eventually my doctor was like, hey, just want to let you know your pregnancy test came back positive. And I was like, oh, don't worry about that. It's a false positive. I already checked it on Reddit. And she's like, no, actually, you've been pregnant for a while. I was like, really? She's like, he waved at me. So, yeah. And the ultrasound they really do sell you on the ultrasound. Once you see the ultrasound, it really, it's like that when you go for a timeshare and they give you that free breakfast. You're like, wow, that was wonderful. And then you're like, wait, how long is this commitment going to be? And how much money is this? So yeah, it was it was kind of a unique situation because I had just gotten out of a relationship a little bit before that, and let me tell you about the person that I was dating because before we'll just rewind a little bit. In 2023, I was living in Texas, and I moved back to my hometown because I ran out of money. And when you're struggling to pay rent, your hometown has never looked more attractive. It was just seducing me. It was just from far away. Just like, hey, miss you. Don't you want to come home and have a beer in a bowling alley? Next to your middle school math teacher? That's enticing. Don't you want to meet your dad's girlfriend's labradoodle? I'm sold. And I grew up in a really small town in Massachusetts. Woo-hoo! Yeah. My hometown is you really only do two things for fun. You could drive an hour to Boston, or you could get really good at darts. Your two choices. So what I did, I moved back home, and then I immediately started dating this guy I went to high school with, because that's what you do for fun. You date a guy you went to high school with, and then he gets you pregnant. That's how you assimilate to the culture. So, and I had never dated a guy from my hometown before. This was a new experience for me. This was my first high school boyfriend. And I was excited, I was like, I guess that wish I made on a candle when I was 16 did come true, It's my first high school boyfriend, and this guy I'd never been around anything like him before. He was just he was just covered in tattoos. He had a very thick Boston accent, shredded abs, just from yelling at traffic, not from. He never stepped foot in a gym. He just had a lot of pent up rage. Was burning a lot of calories. And this guy, he was so fascinating to me. I was so intrigued by this guy because he was such like a walking contradiction. Like he had the worst road rage I'd ever seen, but it did not match his music taste. Like one time he starts yelling at this truck driver. He's like, "Pull over! We'll do this right here! Get out of the car!" And it's like, should we pause the Cranberries first? Or... Yeah, he was so but he was just like into like really wholesome things. Like he was into like the most cheesy dating activities, and I couldn't believe like this guy was like super like rough around the edges, wanted to go like pumpkin picking, But that's what dating is. You just find the scariest guy you can find, and then you do wholesome activities together. You just go to the pumpkin patch, and you're like, "Hey, can you get a picture of us? Can you get one without his ankle bracelet? Thanks so much." Like, you ever made a gingerbread house with a man with multiple arrest warrants? They don't make drugs like that. This guy, I was really having fun dating this guy because, like I said, I'm always in my head. I'm always thinking about the next thing. And this guy, he was just so in the moment, He's just so in the moment. And he was just, like, getting me to appreciate what was happening right then, Like, I would be, like, worrying about something, and he would just be like, "That's a fucking beautiful flower. Babe, you see that flower?" And I was like, "I do see that flower. Actually, that is a nice flower, and I'm glad you pointed it out." Like, he had never been outside of the country before, It was like My Pretty Woman, but it was getting a construction worker passport. Like, I was fascinated. But he also had the worst luck of anybody I'd ever met. Like, every time I took him somewhere, everything that could possibly go wrong would happen to him. Like he would immediately lose his wallet, his keys, his ID, like everything. He was always bleeding for some reason. He would just spontaneously start bleeding. He was always getting these like crazy injuries at work. I mean, he was a blue collar guy, so he'd be like, "I fell off a ladder." I'm like, "It's 10 a.m. I can't do this now." I have 13 mental health clients. He was the 14th client. But this guy, he was so interesting. He was like a 50-year-old man trapped in a 30-year-old guy's body. Like, he was so old school. And I was really fascinated by him. Like, one time I took him to the airport with me, and because I had to travel to do shows because I have dreams. And he showed up to the airport, and he has an open container and a fishing pole, and he's just walking through the duty-free shops, just truly knocking everything over. Just has no idea. The bottom of his backpack, he hasn't traveled since his middle school field trip, so he had the same backpack, and he just like duct taped the bottom of the backpack together. And I looked at this guy, and I was like, he probably knows about safe sex. But this guy, he was so accident prone, He just had this backpack with holes in it, and he brought it on an international flight. Just Polar Expressed his way through the airport. You guys don't get that reference. The kid with the pocket. If I have to explain it, I just let it go. But yeah, and at first it was charming, I was charmed by how just inept he was. And then eventually it started becoming less charming because I realized he also had like a significant drinking problem, and he was always getting himself into these crisis situations, and at first it's kind of fun to rescue somebody. It's kind of a thrill, It makes you feel important. I'm like, I'm the only one he'll hand his keys to, I felt special. And it was like those Wild Horse movies, the one with Tim McGraw, where it's like, nobody can tame this stallion, and many have tried. And then there's like a 9-year-old girl that's like, watch me. That's what it felt like. I felt important. I was like, I'm the only one that can tame him. I was screenshotting these things on Facebook. It was like a picture of like a woman combing a lion's mane, and it was like, some lions just need love and compassion. That's my line. That's what my 5'8" lion needed. I don't know why I had to throw his height in there. So we're not on speaking terms. He's not going to see this. Yeah. So things got pretty rough towards the end. We were getting in a lot of fights, and after we broke up, I blocked him on everything, but he just kept finding new ways to contact me. So he started sending me these terrible messages on Gmail. And I didn't expect it. So at first glance, I see his subjects like selfish bitch. And I was like, whoa. Like, wow, these newsletters are getting very experimental. Who is this, Duolingo? I'll finish my Spanish later. So in the beginning I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess I'll try to include him. We'll try to do this together. And in my first prenatal appointment, he showed up covered in motor oil and then doused cologne over it. Just like the whole room was just filling up with just the overwhelming smell of cologne. and so eventually we went our separate ways, and I became a single mom. And I don't know. I feel like I've had good supports. I don't feel like I missed out that much not having a man in the delivery room. Like, you ever seen the man's list for what to pack for the delivery room? The woman's list is crazy. It's like you're gonna need a lot of gauze, 40 pairs of adult diapers. The man's list is like, bring a comfy sweatshirt, a gaming device, and a pair of headphones. I was like, is this your husband or a 9-year-old going on a road trip? What is this list? But no, I do like being a mom. I'm trying to make mom friends. Thankfully, I've been getting a lot of ads for MILFs in my area that want to meet me. Thank God. Does Double D Denise know about sleep training? Yeah, I've been trying to go to these like mom groups. Like I was talking to this one mom, and she's like, "Oh, my husband, he's a doctor," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. My husband's my mom, so we're the same." I like having a baby. It's a lot different than I thought it was gonna be. Here's what I thought happens when you have a kid. Are there any fathers in the room? You guys are fathers?
Yeah.
How old are your kids?
33.
33. Okay, so you guys.
Mine are 34 and 26.
Oh, okay. Your kids are all the same age. That's what happens in this town, I guess. As kids at the same time. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that you're just so in love with your child that you just don't care about anything else. You're just so like you're just high off of this love for this baby. And that's not how it works at all. Like yeah, you love your child and it's a good feeling to be a parent, but like it's like a good feeling when you go for a run, Like the first couple of minutes you're like, this sucks. You're like, I don't want to be doing this right now. That's how it feels playing with your kid, It feels like you're going to the gym and forcing yourself to do a workout. You're like, how many more rounds of peekaboo am I gonna endure today? Yeah, I'm 28, and this used to be a normal age to start a family, and it's not anymore. Nobody's having kids at 28 now. Like my whole time, I felt like I had a teen pregnancy. Honestly, with my face and a pregnant body, it looked like a teen pregnancy. I would just wander into a JCPenney, try on some prom dresses, and be like, how will I ever get my liberal arts degree now? I have to have some fun with it. What else? God, I'm blanking. Trying to think what else I want to talk about. How much more time do I have, Barry? 3 minutes. Oh wow, there's a clock. Okay. That's cool. Time didn't go by as slowly as I thought it was going to. So that's cool. I am single. I've been sending a lot of unsolicited goodnight texts. When you just start texting your guy friends. like sweet dreams, brother. Fist pound emoji, you know, so he knows it's platonic. What else? I can talk more about my son's father. He was a really blue collar guy, and like the type of guy that works with his hands and thinks oven mitts are gay. Kind of sums him up. And I learned a lot about the blue collar culture. And you cannot talk about your feelings at all. They're not allowed to. The only emotion they're allowed to have, back pain. That's it. I'd ask my boyfriend, be like, "What's wrong, babe?" He's like, "Back's killing me." I'm like, "You sure? Because you're crying." And we're watching The Notebook. Yeah. I used to live with my divorced dad, and if you want to picture the way a divorced dad decorates a house, it's just a lot of fisherman's memorabilia. It's just an overwhelming amount of nets and lighthouses. And I was like, "Dad, did illegal seafoods go out of business?" He's like, "Holly, why are your dishes in the sink?" I'm like, "Why is my third grade picture inside of a lobster trap?" We all have questions. Yeah, I moved back home right when my parents got divorced. I was like, "I really need a place to stay." And my mom's like, "That's crazy because the spot literally just opened up." My dad, he was trying to create a beach house, so that was his vision, was for us to have a beach house. The problem is we lived in central Massachusetts, deep in the suburbs, not a beach in sight. He had these signs hanging up that were like sun, salt, sand, sea, this way. I was like, If you follow that arrow, you're going to Supercuts. That's debut. I think that's good for me. Thank you guys so much. Evan Holly Johnson.
Holly, just wait 1 second. I just want. So Eli and I are single guys in Chester. So do you have any advice for us? Because like listening to your story, I feel like Eli and I just aren't like rebels enough that women want to try to fix us.
You want to lower this? Sorry.
Have you considered having a complicated relationship with your father?
I have one.
Okay, well, you're off to a good start.
Yeah. I have been. You want that up higher? Or do you want?
Now it's too low. Yeah, it's
Let me help
too
you.
short.
Tell me what you want.
That's good.
All right.
So I've been talking to these women because I still want kids.
I didn't know this was happening tonight. I didn't know.
We don't have to do this.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
No, I want to help you with your.
Thank you. Eli and I. See that handsome man back there? Yeah. We could be the most eligible bachelors in Chester, which doesn't say much. But what I've been telling women, because I still want to have kids, is that if we got married and waited a while, they could change the baby's diapers and my diapers at the same time.
I don't know why that would be appealing. Do you know how hard it is to change a baby's diaper? Would you also be doing barrel rolls the whole time she's trying to take it off? Would you also be climbing up the blinds while she's trying?
Maybe, I don't know. Well, I'm thinking about starting a dating show, and then maybe people would come here for the dating show.
You could call it No Means No.
There you go. Thank you, Holly.
Thanks, Mary.
By the way, I love seeing Everett. He's so cute.
Yeah.
He's the sweetest boy.
I lucked out.
Yeah, he's cool. All right, Holly Johnston, everybody. There you go. Well, every time we have an open mic here, it ends up being quite interesting. Holly, we could have moved that chair for you. I wasn't thinking. And this has been another one of those nights. We had a smaller group, but the comics were able to do a long amount of time, which I think is valuable for us. A lot of times when we do open mics, we get like 5 minutes, and then we try to put in a lot of material because we're trying material, and I find if I rush, the crowd's not keeping up, and then I don't allow the time for the laughter. So when we have a little bit more time, we can let things breathe, and it's pretty fun. And I'm surprised too, when you have talented people, how fast the time goes by. Because a lot of times sometimes at 5-minute open mics, it seems like the 5 minutes is taking 20 minutes. Does it not, Michael? It does. All right, so I'm real happy that my peers did such good humor, and I'm going to say good night and thank you all for coming. Woohoo! That was awesome. Good job, Kevin. I got to turn.